So I'm currently in the process of cleaning up my dorm room, getting it ready for when it's time to move out. There's this eagle-to-eagle roommate contract which never had to be filled out because I never had a roommate in this dorm room. And there's that succulent plant from at least a month ago. I've been making sure to water it with water in basically a plastic cup like this, only cleaner. And as well as making sure that I got the water from the sink, making sure not to put in too much because I think it's pretty easy to overwater a succulent. It's basically some kind of desert plant, isn't it? This, I think, comes from all the way back from the very start of from right before the semester started. I still have these cleaning supplies out because there's a few things that need cleaning. That got dirtied up from back when last semester I got one of my boots stuck in some muck. I think this is the mattress tag for this mattress right here. It managed to last 2 entire semesters with just some damage to it. My cardboard cutouts. I found this old Propel while I was cleaning out my dorm room. And despite it being months past the Best Buy date, it still seems to be pretty good. I mean, it does taste good. One of the first things I did today, I believe I pulled an all-nighter working on those revisions for my post-mortem essay, which I've now submitted. Yeah, this ended up being the final version I sent in for revisions, adding in this entire new paragraph. In submitting I submitted in this new version if I recall correctly, I believe I submitted it I think it was around I believe it was in the afternoon after I woke up. I can easily check that real quick. I'm currently on this game right here because a game had recently had a revamp, and now I need to spend some time completing game tasks again before I end up turning into a frog. These new revamps for GameHag somehow ended up getting rid of the offer walls. Which is pretty devastating, as that was how it was keeping the frog transformation at bay. I'm about to hopefully soon start work on my writing assignment for my visual art experience class. I accidentally got some sweat on my phone screen. In the email I sent, I told Professor Dr. French that I was sorry for submitting it later than agreed. Talked about the new version meeting the 2,000 word minimum by adding sentences to existing paragraphs while adding an additional paragraph near the end of the paper. Thank you for teaching me this semester and for your time in this matter. I sent it at 6:24 p.m. I'm keeping in contact with my old friend Peter H. who I met while volunteering for a Relay for Life event. This is a blueberry flavored yogurt, which I got at breakfast time. At the Harrison Dining Hall, which started at 7:30 a.m., and that's around the time that I got there. I went on a walk at around 6:40 a.m. The need to go and pick up my finished abstract painting, providing a pretty good excuse to go out for a walk. I made sure to be as careful as possible. Though I had to make sure to stop off to drop the abstract painting off at my dorm room first before I then went out to breakfast at Harrison Dining Hall, in which I got some loaded tater tots, 2 hash browns, an everything bagel with cream cheese, for which I thankfully later found a plastic knife within my dorm room. I'm thinking of doing a styrofoam block work out of this. Around the time I was walking over to the tower to pick up my abstract painting from the visual art experience room, I started playing a playlist of all the individual tracks from Everywhere at the End of Time, and I got to the track B3 at around as I was walking to get breakfast from Harrison Dining Hall, and I basically jumped and did a double take because track B3 sounded vastly different from how I remembered it from the full official Everywhere at the End of Time album. As it turns out, I initially thought that whoever uploaded the individual tracks and did something goofy with track B3 or quiet internal rebellions. As it turns out, excuse me. As it turns out, the caretaker apparently didn't mix up the sample used for track B3 enough, and so YouTube recognized the sample, and so it got replaced with a track from stage 3. Specifically, it got replaced with long-term dusk glimpses. Yeah, it got replaced with that. Yeah, long-term dusk glimpses. Yeah, that's what happened. And I'm basically only just realized that some hours ago. Pretty much right around the time I ended up installing Stronghold Kingdoms on my computer. By the way, the interface for that game, it has some pretty strong old school mid-2000s computer game vibes. That's what I'm getting from it. These are the vibes that I'm getting from it. It just kind of amazes me because the new beta for GameHag now looks like this. What you would expect from a modern website. And yet, they have for a long time now been accepting quests from a game that's seemingly really old. Well, actually not that old in the grand scheme of things, considering there's computer games from the 1980s. But I'm now a good portion into finals week. I suspect that as finals week has gone on, there's been less and less residents within Eagle Hall. And that'll only continue throughout the rest of today and tomorrow. Yeah, I ended up feeling tired at around 8:30. In the morning. I think I believe I finished work. I finished work on this styrofoam. Went on that walk in which I retrieved that abstract painting. Went for breakfast, getting one coffee for each of my hands, which I realized is riskier than it seems. And if you do that, you have to be really careful when, at least in my scenario, my case, you go to swipe for door and elevator access, and when opening doors, and when going to swipe, I would actually have to balance 2 cups of coffee on one hand. The last time I got 2 coffees, I figured it'd be a good way to keep my hands warm in the cooler weather back then, but now it's considerably warmer, so I ended up falling asleep around 8:30ish. Didn't wake up. So pretty much slept until 4 p.m. Missing a potential day desk attendant shift. That was from that was going to be from 2 to 4:30. Well, luckily I didn't even hear about that shift, so I didn't take it. I have a day desk attendant shift tomorrow at that exact same time, from 2 to 4:30. I believe I got this peach one from when I got lunch at Harrison Dining Hall, from when it was dinner time at that time. Going in around 6:40 or 6:50 p.m. Pretty much right after I sent Dr. French my revisions for the post-mortem essay. I did a bit of work on the 99th Dan Hamming. I'm currently thinking I'm doing some more work in the near future. Coconut rice tastes pretty good. I'm at the point now where I need just one more artifact for this evolvable building to get to the top level, which will thankfully also include some production of ancient knowledge packs. I'm currently here in terms of the task sets on the quest, the event. as I picked up, I found this, some leftover yogurt topping from a trip to Harrison Dining Hall that was probably a month ago. And while picking up, I also found these bottles of splash water. At some point, I'm going to need to put this into my Spanish binder, which I could easily do immediately after the end of this. And I've pretty much been spending the rest of today working on essentially completing a game task for Game Hag through Stronghold Kingdoms, so that I can reset the counter for the magic shield, I think it's called, to protect me from turning into a frog on the game. I have the necessary knowledge points invested, but for Stronghold Kingdoms, I have to get enough honor to promote myself into a serf for the first task. I've got a whole bunch of gold because the last task set asked me to earn a whole bunch of gold. So I provided neighborly help to all of my neighbors. Well, to every neighbor I could until I hit the necessary gold production amount to gain. And I completed my last task set until tomorrow. Seven at night, essentially. I've also invested some time into catching up a bit on uploading my dinners to my YouTube channel. I am hoping that the current round of conflict between the State of Israel and the Palestinians will come to a close soon, given President Biden's recent call to the Israeli Prime Minister to call for de-escalation in the conflict. That's what I'm hoping.